Hey everybody, it's me, the Real Kid BC. Um, Today I'm just gonna do something different. For example, I'm gonna be talking about wrestling and why it is not dead. Um, Now, for those who are confused and um, justifiably so, I haven't really talked about wrestling on this channel. Not necessarily because I'm not interested in it. I am interested in wrestling. I'm a fan of wrestling. I've been a fan ever since I was a kid. There's just something about it that's always been very fascinating to me. Um, for more reasons than one, of course. But like I just said, I don't really talk about wrestling that much on this channel. Um, and the reason that is because, well, at first I didn't really have much of an interest to talk about wrestling on this channel. Um, sure, it's not necessarily a passing interest of mine, but it's not necessarily something that I wanted to make videos on. However, as wrestling has basically started to become better and better as time has gone on recently, I I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not me just talk about wrestling in a video? It couldn't hurt, right? Um, Now, I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but WWE is now merged with the UFC, and it is owned by Endeavor, the same parent company of the UFC, because they've been bought out by them. And now they have merged and become the same company and are going by TK Holdings Group. If I remember correctly, that's the full name. Um, However, WWE and UFC will still be two separate companies. Technically, um, they are two separate companies, even though they've merged, but they will be treated differently from here on out. Though there may be some crossover here and there, but only time will tell. Um, but anyway, WWE seems to be doing pretty good, and while not everything is perfect, there's still some hiccups here or there. Other than that, WWE is it's definitely doing much better now than it was like I want to say um, 10 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever. Because the fans are actually excited to watch the shows. Not only that, but the writing is actually decent. Um, I say decent because there are a couple storylines here and there that aren't that good, but for the most part, they're actually pretty good. There are a couple storylines that are just okay or meh or whatever. Um, and there's a bunch of new people that are being focused on down in NXT. And while not all of them will become big stars in the future, I think that's fine. Some of them will be big stars in the future. Most of them won't because, well, that's usually how it is. If everybody is a big star, then nobody is. That's just how I see it, and maybe you see it the same or different. I don't know, but yeah, the point is that it seems as though WWE has a better understanding now of how to make new stars. At least a little bit, anyway. Not entirely. They're getting there. Trust me. They're still struggling. It's not all great with WWE, but they have been getting better ever since Vince McMahon had stepped down and was replaced by Triple H himself. Um, so yeah, the writing's gotten better. The character work seems better, and so on and so forth. Again, not everything is good. WWE still has a long way to go when it comes to improvement, sure, but people are actually excited for these shows again. They're actually excited for the pay per views. They actually want to watch SmackDown and Raw, and I've heard that people are liking NXT now, which is good because it had a very rough start as NXT 2.0. And it's nice to know that NXT now is starting to find its footing with the way it's going currently. But enough about WWE. I also want to focus on AEW and Impact Wrestling and GCW and New Japan and companies that aren't WWE because now companies that aren't WWE are starting to thrive. They're starting to do much better. AEW is a great example. Again, AEW right now Sure, they lost CM Punk, but they're actually still doing pretty good. There's still tons and tons of things that they definitely need to do to improve, and tons of things that they can do to improve, as they are still a new company, and they definitely have time to improve. So, yeah. I'm actually rooting for AEW to improve. That's what they need to do. They're still a young company. There's too many mistakes that they could make that could cause them to go out of business. And here's the hoping that none of that happens. Um, you know. But then you have Impact Wrestling, right? And Impact Wrestling, they seem to be doing decently. Not as good as AEW, but decently enough. They're still hanging on. From what I heard, their shows are actually pretty good, despite the fact that not many people watch them, which, uh, is just a shame, but, oh well, that's just how it is. And then you have GCW now. Okay, GCW has picked up a decent amount of steam in recent time, and of course, most of that is definitely due to Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder in WWE, who is doing pretty good, in all honesty. Um, he proved that he really doesn't need WWE in order to be a big star. He's making it big on the independent scene, and honestly, that's what I like. Zack Ryder was really good in WWE, but they wasted his talent, so it's nice to know that he's doing pretty good in GCW, and basically anywhere else that'll have him. Um, Wrestling is not dead, alright? That's the main crux of this. For years, people were saying that wrestling was dead. It's clearly not. It's actually doing pretty good, for more reasons than one, but yeah. Um, so yeah. That's all I got though. Wrestling is, again, it's enjoyable. It's pretty good. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, and there's actually a good amount of things to be entertained by. Not to mention the fact that WWE is not the only game in town anymore, which is good. Competition is good, for more reasons than one. So, yeah. I'm glad that AEW exists, and I'm glad that we have companies on the rise and doing better like GCW and so on. And of course, then you also got New Japan, who, while I haven't really checked up too much on them, they seem to be doing pretty good as usual. Um, no, I'm sure it's not all perfect, but still. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Do you think wrestling is doing pretty good, or are you just not interested in wrestling? Do you think that there's a lot of things that AEW and WWE really should improve on, and other wrestling companies as well? Please tell me in the comment section. Also, gotta do a community post about this video. Please check that out. Of course, all the important stuff is in the description. Check, please. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I meant to say check it, please. um, yeah. I don't know what else to say. You know what to do. I won't hold your hand through the process, and honestly, Real King out. Have a nice day.